Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Let's Play Motorsport Manager with the Phoenix Nice Racing Team. And here we are at the most boring race in existence. It's the Phoenix GP, where you drive round and round and round and round and round, and just in case you didn't get the picture, you drive round a bit more and round again. Anyway, if ever there's a vote to remove this, we shall be voting for it, all guns blazing. Anyway, before we dive into the race weekend, just a couple of points to bring up that happened off camera, if you will. We didn't get our designer in the last session. Eric Rousseau turned us down. But there's not all is lost, because there are other designers out there with some semi-decent stats, some pretty nice components. You know, she's not too shabby. And Rachel Adams, pretty decent. Components, not horrific. And even old Paddy Locke, who turned us down the first time, who was looking pretty spiffing marvellous with his components, even he is now interested in talking to us again. Perhaps seeing the error of his ways as Steinman slide down the grid. So there are options available if we so desire a new designer. It's not the end of the world. So we'll kind of keep a broad, open mind on this one for the time being. But I'm going to go to the end of the season before making a firm choice. And I really do want a driver in place first. That is the priority. So we'll focus on that for the time being. We'd be spending less money than I thought we would. Although actually we're going up now. The income cost per race is actually 2.3 million. So it is increasing slightly as we progress through the season, which is a little bit worrying. But we are a little bit ahead of schedule in terms of the budget. We've got more money than I anticipated, and therefore what I've done to offset the fact that we didn't get the designer we wanted, I've gone for another building. And I've gone for the telemetry centre. It was only 6 million, it was the cheapest of the upgrades, but it's one of the most important parts. The two most important parts, if you ask me, are the engine and the gearbox. This is for the gearbox, to allow us to create epic components for our gearboxes, so it should give us an edge for the gearboxes that we create next season. So going for that with a little bit of coin that I think we have floating about in our budget somewhere. So that is that, and I think that actually is everything. No, it's not. You see, the last race, Sundin got into a bit of bother in the pit stop. Her team let her down when replacing her front wing, when she was doing really, really well. The usually ice cool Swede, Scandinavian, ice cool, doesn't really lose her temper, took it out on her race mechanic, blamed her race mechanic for that blunder. And as a result of that, let's have a wee look here. Let's have a wee look here. Let's have a wee look here. It's here somewhere. It happened. It wasn't a figment of my imagination. It happened. There you go. Here it is. Trouble erupted at the HQ of Phoenix Nice as Sundin confronted her race mechanic, Maxine Solder, and there was a punch-up. She's got a bit of an injury, as you can see. It's kicking off. She's losing her cool. She's degrading in quality due to her experience, as I like to call it now. And the mistake of the pit crew, she's actually lost her temper, blaming them for her poor finish in the Ardennes. She's cracking up. Meanwhile, Surikov is committed to his religion. He found religion, he embraced religion, and now he is committed to religion. I carry God with me everywhere I go, he says. He helps me. He lifts me. He takes me higher. Well, Sundin is on the downward curve, assaulting people, thuggish behaviour, whereas this man is a walking angel. Who would have thought it? Anyway, we move on to the oval. Now, last time, I kind of remember that we were struggling with the tyre wear. It's a long race, 30 laps, and I remember struggling getting these tyres to the end. Plus, it's hot. So we're going to probably end up using the hard tyres more than we think. So I'm going 6-5-4. Because I think we're going to only use the softs in the qualifying. I think we're going to mainly use the mediums possibly in the race. But I do think we're going to possibly use the hards. I mean, I remember Sundin struggled to get the mediums round. So we need to have some hard compound. I think 3 is as much as we need, really. I don't think we need any more than 3. We're only going to use them for 3 stints. Unless, of course, we need to do a practice run on them, just to get the... Okay, 6-5-4. I'm at a loss for this one. Not quite so sure which strategy is going to be best, but we'll soon find out as we get to practice and do some running. See you in qualifying. Alright, so practice went pretty smoothly, to say the very least. We qualified on pole, I was going to say, in my dreams. We qualified in first with Surikov on the hardest compound tyre by 0.7 of a second. It's pretty nifty, isn't it? Do I think it's going to happen in the qualifying or the race? No. But he's happy with his setup. If only that was our real performance. If only. Weight stripping, we have gone a bit more conservative. I think the past couple of races we've been really on the edge of our performance limits and our reliability limits. Plus the old situation with the front wing, we're not going to risk changing parts unnecessarily in the future. For qualifying, of course, it's soft tyres and qualifying trim, but as you can see, we've maxed out qualifying and race trim, and we've maxed out all of the tyres. So we have every opportunity, every option available to us when it comes to our strategy. It all depends on what tyres we anticipate using more often for each driver in the race. So for qualifying, it will be the softs. Softs for both. Knowledge is done for both. So we're going to simulate. It's going to be bone dry. Is the old session. So no reason for us to drive around in a circle numerous times more than necessary. Sundin up in 9th at the moment. Sundin up to 12th. 9th and 12th is not a bad position, but can we get a bit faster? Can we go again? Can we get a bit of a faster lap here? Come on, Surikov. You've shown such good pace in practice. Qualifying session is finished. Surikov 9th. He's broke the top 10. Sundin 12th. But rather frighteningly, she is a whole 0.7 of a second slower than her teammate. Comprehend that for a second. This is a 34-second lap. A massively short lap. Yet somehow she's a whole 0.7 slower over a very short distance. That is a very poor performance. Either that or Surikov's was very, very good. Could be a combination of the two, I suppose, but Sundin is not setting the world alight. Part fix went horribly wrong in Ardennes, even though she was performing well, bouncing back in a punch-up with a mechanic, and now she's off the pace in Phoenix. She's on a downward spiral, isn't she? She really is on a downward spiral. This is not how we want to remember Sundin when she leaves. We want to remember her as the silky smooth, ice-cool driver that won the Asia-Pacific Cup, that ran Valdez close in the European Racing Series. We don't want to remember her as a brawler who went out of the team because she was fired for fighting. We don't want that. Anyway, this is the nitty-gritty here. What do we want to do in terms of our strategy for Sundin? I think, judging by the last time we were here, judging by that it's really, really hot, I actually think the hard compound tyre is the tyre to be on, so that we can push the tyres hard to get some heat into them. I think it's actually not... I don't think it's the worst tyre to be on here. I really don't. I think the softs will overheat far too quick, they'll degrade far too quick. The mediums are borderline, but the hard tyre would give her a great opportunity to do some pushing. So we're going to risk it with her this time. We're going to put her on the hardest compound. We're going to fuel her. It needs to be 10, 10 and 10. So we'll give her 10 laps of fuel. We'll give her 10 laps of fuel, bring her in, see where we stand with the degradation, and then we'll judge the other stops as we see fit. Which means what we're going to do is we're actually going to give her the knowledge of the hard tyre. Meanwhile, for Surikov, I think he can actually make the mediums work. Maybe not for heating, but certainly for degradation, possibly. But I'm wondering if we should actually do the hard tyre for him as well. I really do. It's just that extra... It's just extra. I think we'll start him on the hard and play it by ear. But what we're going to do with him is we're going to go a little bit longer in the first stint, I think. Try 11 laps. Because Sundin's coming in first. Just because she's going to chew for her tyres a little bit quicker, I think. Medium. They can do 11. They can probably do 10. Not the first stint, though, because the first stint... You tend to put more strain on your tyres as you're pushing harder from the start. You get off the start, there could be some wheel spin, could be some braking issues. Tyres tend to degrade faster in the first stint. I think the medium would be good for a second and third stint, especially if he does 11 laps on his first. It would open it up for 2 stints of medium, I think. So I think we'll try 2 stints of medium for Surikov. So I'm going to... I'm going to go for medium and race trim. But he's not going to use the medium tyres until the second and third stint, so his first stint is going to actually be quite hampered, really, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, I'm afraid to say. This could be a catastrophic mistake, but we're going to risk it. 2 sets of hard tyres, we're just going to push and hope that it works out well. Here's the grid. Look at that. Guys in front of us are on the soft tyre. These are going to degrade very quickly and overheat very quickly, but do the AI cars suffer the same as us? They should do. They really should. So Balcazar qualifies on pole in the Scuderia Rossini, with Becker in the Steinman in second, Harry Chapman qualifying up in third, battling for the championship of course, Espinosa in fourth, Fisher, Motorsport, Steinman in fifth, and Kitano qualifying supremo up into sixth for Kitano there. Sylvander's in seventh with Veracruz in eighth, and Surikov squeaking into the top 10, ninth, Lipponen 10th, pushing down De Wolf into 11th, and Sundin brings up the... last of the big 5 in 12th. Big 6, isn't it? How many teams are there? 1, 2, oh, 6, yeah. 6 teams. The top 6 teams. I say the big 6 like we're a big team. Just trying to make it sound like we're bigger than we are. We're trying. Okay, so there's the top 12. No need to look further down than that. So off we go. We are ready. And we are... racing, where we are going to be going round and round and round and round and round and round. Look at the start, look at the start, look at the start. Sundin is up into 9th position already, and Surikov is up into 7th temporarily, but look at the speed differential here. Look at the Steinman fly off into the distance. We are in need of some pace to keep up with that thing. Look at him, look where he's going. Look at him, he's like a man possessed. Or is it a she? It's she, it's Fisher. Look at her, she's absolutely on a charge. That is frightening how much pace she's got. Look at her, she's just cruising past people like they're not even there. How are you meant to compete with that? We're not. We're not meant to compete. Let's not compare ourselves. Just not, it's going to be depressing. Just not. Look how quickly our tyres are degrading compared to the softs. It's at the same rate. Veracruz's tyres are knackered. Right, okay. How hard do we want to push these buggers? Probably not too hard, I'd say, because they are going to degrade pretty quickly if we push them too hard all of the time. But we need to keep the heat in them because they are hard compounds. 33 degrees. It's a little bit warm, isn't it? It's a little bit on the warm side. But we are keeping up with the big boys. We are keeping up with the big boys in terms of Surikov. Sundin is a little bit dropping back. 6th position. Pushing, pushing, pushing. Where's the flipping line? Where's the finish line? I need to get my bearings with the old... He's doing 11 laps, isn't he? Which means he has to do, after this, it'd be like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Another 7 is just not going to make it stick. He'll have to do... Alright, turn down some of these engines. Right, we're just crossing line. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so he's going to do another 6 laps from here. That's fine. She can only do another 5 from here. Alright. Shouldn't be a major problem. The Scuderia Rossinis are looking a little bit struggle, aren't they? They're struggling a little bit. It seems that way to me. Maybe I'm just seeing it wrong, but they seem to be struggling a touch. Just a touch, just a smidgen. Just a smidgen. Some people are conserving their engines. You've got some people already pitting on lap 6. Got to be a long race if you're pitting on lap 6. Right, okay, it's fine. He's pitting. Tyres, tyres, tyres. How many laps for her? 3 more. Push the engine. Push the engine, push the engine, push the engine. 3 more laps. Push the engine, push the engine, push the engine. Push the engine. It's going to be a rather interesting race. So 2 more laps. Just crossing the line now. Yeah, she's got enough. Look at that. She's passing now. She's passing now. One more lap after this. One more lap. One more lap. One more lap. Oh, she's... fuel's looking a little bit grim. 0.9. We might have to go on conserve, otherwise she's going to run out of fuel. Just to conserve for this lap. We don't want her to run out of fuel. Right. Ooh, okay. A little bit careful of the old what's-he-may-call-it. Right, what are we on? Lap? Nah, she's going to have to go long, isn't she? 11 laps? Yeah, long middle stint. Just try and go as long as possible. As long as the tyres and fuel can last. That's as long as we can go with her. Just need to make sure we don't run out of fuel. Surikov is already lapping somebody. That's pretty nice feeling to be actually lapping people. Right, is fine for fuel. Let's have a look at Sundin. Where is she? Okay, she's fine. She'll come out. She'll go on high and then high when she comes out. Okay, Surikov. So we're going to lose track of the positions for the time being. There's a lot of different strategies going on, different tyres, all this kind of jazz. So just... Oh, don't forget to pit him. I'm going to try him on the medium tyres now. So do 10 laps. Not too much fuel in. So we'll go on the slightly faster tyre than the hards and come out and do a bit of high. Right, let's see where he comes out in comparison to Sundin. Where is she? She's all the way back there. But she is actually ahead of, temporarily, a Scuderia Rossini, so she can't be doing too badly. And there goes Sirikov. He's coming out of the pits. Coming out of the pits. Coming out of the pits. There he is. He comes out in 11th position. Sundin is a little ways behind him. A little ways behind. Lipponen is pitting now with his tyres on fire. Which means that we should get ahead of him, because look at that. He's only just stopped. So we're going in now. 11 laps of fuel. That's fine. There we go, up into 6th. Sundin looking good, up into 11th. The tyres now, just turn them down. I don't want them to overheat too much. And same with Sirikov. He has to make these tyres last, don't forget. So, okay, I'm quite pleased with this performance so far. It's got plenty of fuel, but it's just... the old engine is at 47% already, so we're going to have to turn down his engine slightly. Sundin's fine for a little bit longer. Got a feeling a lot of these cars are going to be 3-stopping, you know. Which means if we can actually just 2-stop and not worry too much about tyre wear, engines going on fire, we should have a good chance. There's Sundin, she's in 9th. She's just cruising round, having a nice old time on her hard tyres. She can push them, not just yet, but she will eventually. 10th place is De Wolf, he's coming in behind, he's got on the medium tyre, on the faster tyre. It's fine, her form isn't marvellous. 15 laps to go. So a bloody long race is this one. Long race. So look at Sirikov, where is he? He's crossing the line, 7 laps. He doesn't need to do 7 laps, but we can't push the engine any more than it is. It's already at 39% and we're not half distance yet. That engine is not going to last. We're going to have to do some laps on low and really conserve that engine. This is not what we want to see happening. 47 for Sundin. Just have to turn her down completely. Engine's blowing up on the whole damn lot here. We're getting lapped. We are getting lapped by Fisher. Shoosh. Told you she were flying. Right, Sirikov is in 6th. Having to conserve for a little while. 41% on the tyres, 39 on the tyres. Sundin's dropped. Somebody's pitting. Race of attrition here now. This is all about preservation of the car more than putting the foot down. This is all about preservation of the car. Sirikov is temporarily up into 4th position. Engine. Right, where's Sundin? Sundin is behind. 10 laps of fuel. I think we need to pit both cars now. Finish this off. Right, he can do on the mediums. Not a problem. He can do on the mediums, not a problem, and finish off on the mediums and just cruise the car to a finish. Sundin is going to pit and stick with the hards. She's going to have to stick with the hards, make the hards last. And parts are fine. So she is 14 seconds behind, so there's plenty of time to double stack. There's going to be no issues here. So here's Sirikov in the pits for the final time this race. Here comes Sundin, no mistakes, and he's out, and in comes Sundin. He's going out, he's going out, he's going out. Where's he going to come out into the shake-up here? 36%, 10 laps to go. Just going to push the tyres a little bit to start. We get some heat into them. Sundin comes out. She's in 13th. She can push these tyres a little bit harder. There's a mistake with the tyres, but it wouldn't have mattered because we were putting the fuel in. So she's excess fuel as well. So she's got a bit more engine life. So she's going to push her engine now. Sirikov 36%. 9 laps to go. I think we'll give it another couple of laps on normal and then we'll go for the push. We'll go for the push. We'll go for the push. towards the end. But at the moment, there's cars pitting ahead of us, cars still to pit ahead of us, and we are in 7th position. We don't have to stop again. Neither does Sylvander behind us, I don't think, and he is looking like he's going to get past. But we're not racing him. We're not going to race him. Not when there's Lipponen to pit, Espinosa to pit, potentially even Chapman and Fisher to pit again. You know, there's no reason for us to go too mad here. No reason for us to go overly crazy. And wait. Just make sure that she get enough fuel to get past, enough fuel to finish the damn race. She's in 12th and she needs to do something here to get some points. Surikov, 7th position. Still pushing hard. How many more people are to pit ahead of us? Says we've got excess fuel with 6.4, but she hasn't got excess fuel at 6.6. I don't think we're going to be able to push, actually. 25% now with the engine. I don't think we are. I think it's going to be normal to the finish. Just bring the car home. Fisher is pitting, but they'll be out again before we are. Sundin up into 11th here. Now showing excess fuel, finally. Tyre wear, 47%. 11 seconds is the car behind. The question is there anyone else to pit ahead of us? Chapman. Turn the tyres down, turn the engine down. Chapman's pitting. Let's see where he comes out. He's coming out, he's going out now. He's on fresh tyres. We're not going to hold him behind. I think it's just a case of bringing this car home. Sylvander ahead of us may have to pit. She should have enough tyre life to get her back. 3 laps after this. We're going to be powerless to stop him, whether we put the car in high or not. So, yep. Engine now 20%. 3 laps to go. Espinosa's coming quick in the old what's him call it? What's him face? Oh, tyres are not going to last. This is painful. 2 more laps to go. De Graaf is in the pits. Sylvander's tyres are crying out for something or other. We're losing all track here. She's fine. I'm going to push her here to the finish. I'll push her to the finish. It's Surikov I'm concerned about. Look at this. Look at this. There's cars ahead of us here. They're absolutely... Everyone is in the same boat. 1 lap to go. Go, push. We're up into 7th. Look at this guy. He's going really slow. Just go for it. Just go for it. Come on, both of you. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go, go, go. Last lap. Just try something. Just anything. And he's crossed the line just as his engine blew up. What a race of bedlam. What a race. I didn't even know what was going on. I didn't know who was pitting, what strategies people were on. It was just all higgledy-damn-piggledy. It was, as it usually is on this track. I'm sure a few people had 3 stops. I really do. Yeah, there's a 3-stopper, there's a 3, there's a 3, there's a couple of 3s, there's a 4. Balcazar. Both Scuderia Rossinis. 9th and 11th. Absolute horror show for them. Sundin couldn't get into the points. Again, she really... It's been more prevalent this season than any season previous that she is massively struggling now. She is consistently being shone by her teammate, being outperformed by her teammate massively every damn time. Anyway, Lipponen for Windsor is in 3rd, some good points for them. De Graaf in 5th for Catano, some good points for them, and also De Wolf in 8th, and Veracruz in 10th. So once again, we lose vital ground. But on the plus side, we outscored Scuderia Rossini. Steinman 1-2. This is really doing their constructors a hell of a lot of good. This could be a massive swing. Let's take a look at it. This is the Drivers' Championship. Harry Chapman ahead by just one lonely point. Steinman, Pascal Becker moving up to second. Scuderia Rossini slipped down. Constructors, look at that. Now only 7 points behind. They've jumped up there. Panther Racing, 2-4-3. And here we are, 72. We're definitely finishing 6th now. There's something about the name Phoenix Knights. There's a beautiful ring to it, says Lucy Collier. I agree. Completely and utterly agree. Okay, so Sirikov isn't improving anymore, by the looks of it, but he was on good form there, finished in 7th position, which is roughly where he finishes when he performs well. Don't think he's finished higher than 7th, has he, this season? We'll have a look. He lose 1.8 million. Oops, wait a second, my eyes just glimpsed something very, very interesting. European Racing Series. Let's have a look at the last race there. It was at the Milan, where Valdez, once again for the 3rd time this season, wins the race and gets the fastest lap. Let's take a look at the standings. He's there, 47 points, 14 ahead of 2nd place. He's looking good to regain his European Racing Series title. Winning the European Racing Series with 2 different constructors. Not a bad showing. Not a bad showing at all, Mr. Valdez. Keep it up. Right, well, before we conclude today's session, what I thought I'd do is I'd actually take you right until the race weekend. We'll go through all the stuff that I do off camera. We'll do it at the back end of this session. It's been relatively short. Let's have a look. Valdez. Sirikov, yeah. No, he's got 10 points at some point. He's got 12 points here in Portugal. Where did he finish? 4th? Must have finished 4th. Yeah. Completely forgot about that race. It wasn't it? It rained, didn't it? It rained, yes, it rained in Portugal. And we had a good race there. And then it rained in Russia, and we didn't. But look at the consistency. 1, 4, 10, 12. No points finished there, but then 4, 4, 6, 6, 6, 6. He's consistently finished in the points and really well. Compared to Sundin, 2, nothing, 8, nothing, 1, nothing, nothing, 2, nothing, nothing, nothing. That is what's happened to us this season. If we had another driver that got roughly the same amount of points or similar, say 50 points, 45 points, that would put us close to 100 points in the constructors. And that would have us a lot closer to Kitano than we currently are. That's the difference, you see. Anyway, we are designing new brakes. As you can see, we've jumped up slightly. Even though we still have technically the worst, we have gone from roughly round about there to there because we've designed some new brakes. There they are. But these aren't the ones we're taking forward to next season. Don't be foolish. We're going to build some more. Right, have we built 2 lots of brakes or 1 lot? Getting confused here. We've built 2 lots of brakes, but we're not taking any of those forward to the next season. No siree. We have epic parts available to us. That's what we upgraded our building for, so we have to unlock them first. So we'll go for that. We'll go for that. We'll go for 1190, 1210, 1170. Okay, that's pretty nice. And then the next one we get, look at that, an extra deceleration plus 50 with no risk. Okay. So this is the part that we will take forward to next season. So what that begs the question is, do we want to go for actual performance or do we want to go for max performance? Because we don't have much performance time left to increase the performance of our parts because we're focusing on the engine and gearbox. So 1154 is our current performance. Could we get more than 1154? 1134? 1134? No, 1154 is the best we can get there. 1094, 1134, 1154, 1154, 1164. So there's more acceleration there, but less max. 1195, 1210, 1154, 1160. It's not much difference, is it? We'll risk it. Okay. 1134, 1154, 1210. Oh, yeah, this is the best we can get here. So we'll build these brakes. So these have been taken forward to next season, and then the next set of brakes will include an epic part, and we'll be taking that forward as well. So these are now the brakes to be used next year. Hopefully we'll see this little bar move even further up to roughly round about where the engine and gearbox is. We'll be happy with that. Interview? No thanks. Pit crew review? They didn't do too bad by the looks of it. And brakes finished and we are building some more. Pit crew? Be managed for us so we don't have to worry. And a new scouting report. Who is it? It's a 4-star driver. Not a paid driver though, so not interested. We will keep scouting. So 10 days in Vancouver. Our car is being fixed after the last race. Car repair finished. And just make sure we're still doing the necessary on the necessary parts. Yes, we are. Engine performance and gearbox performance. That is the only thing we are focusing on. 81 days left. 81 days after the race, so 91 days left to max out the engine and gearbox, which is why we can't max out the brakes and the front wing once we build them. So we need current performance levels rather than max. We just won't have the time to max out the parts. That shouldn't be an issue. We should still have better brakes and front wing than we do now, which is going to be an improvement. Tyre heating. Yes, I know we didn't focus on tyre heating this season. It was a choice that we made. Conscious choice. 4-star driver, but not a paid driver. Okay. Well, we're looking for a 5-star. New sponsor deal. 3rd, 4th or 5th or above. We're not going to get any of them, so we'll go for the upfront payment. 1.5 million. Pretty nice. This is the Asia Pacific Cup. Not Valdez's championship. Okay, so here we are, race weekend, one more scouted driver. He's a paid driver, but he's pretty rubbish. It's a shame. Don't worry, we still got tons of people to scout out, so I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that one of these buggers is going to be useful, because if they're not, we're pretty much screwed. There's a list of our currently scouted drivers. There's a few. The only one that catches my eye really is Alvarez. He is a paid driver. He has some semi-decent stats. He has some potential to get up to 5-star. But his smoothness is so poor, and we've seen how that's affected Sundin. That's really bad. Marketability is low, which is also pretty bad. But the worst thing out of all of this is he hates leading. When he's in the lead, -2 to all stats. It's just horrific. Not that we're going to be leading anytime soon, but you just don't want that, do you, in a driver? Especially if you're going to be paying him some money. Right, so there we go. Vancouver, where it's predicted to be some rain, so could be an interesting one. Certainly more interesting than driving around in a circle. Or an oval, to be more precise. Right, join me next time. See you soon.